everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the Pirate Uberallis mod. Last time around we took out Copenhagen, and we also took out the Danish Navy in all their trade nodes. So we extended our trade in the East Indies, but also in the Strait of Madagascar. Our trade was increased, which is good. And then, of course, subduing the Danish capital. However, the Danish have placed most of their forces in Norway. In between episodes, I have actually gone ahead and ended quite a few turns. And so I've been able to get some spies up here, and also I've been able to kind of reorganize the troops a little bit. I'm not going to send a third army up here. We're going to just use the two we have. And we're gonna lead with the with Lepenhauth and his most experienced units, or his elite units. He's got a lot of elite regiments compared to the others. In between the episodes, though, I was able to start recruiting new troops. It's odd because for some reason they enable them up here before anywhere else in the Empire. So we've got new types of units, namely a full-size regiment of grenadiers, so 300 men in the grenadier unit. So I imagine these guys do not throw grenades any longer. Now we're just hardy men, ready for the bayonet that now numbers 300. So we could go ahead and then switch out let's see, here we go. Lindström and the Freedom Regiment increased their numbers quite a bit, double the size of them. And then also, I was able to, there's more of those. We didn't recruit them up here, we recruited them all the way down here in Crimea for some reason. Similar, I modernized drill school. Napoleonic era, well, it makes sense that maybe that's why we can recruit them here. Because it's way ahead of its time. It's 50 years ahead in the future. These Superior Line Infantry, 33rd Foot Guards. So we've got really good units. Actually, they're not that good in terms of 45 accuracy. 50, I would say, was really good. But Superior Line Infantry, 6 of those, ready to be sent to the front. A little side note here, I've moved the priest now to Anatolia because it stopped working here. One of the priests died and progress basically halted. So, and it seemed like I wasn't going anywhere with causing some kind of revolt in that region. So instead I've opted for trying to attack the central region. But that doesn't seem to be working that well as well, because we're currently actually everything's reducing and Islam is still increasing, even though I put 2 priests here. So I think I will go ahead and just retreat the priests back to my own area. Now, we do have at this point secular humanism, which reduces religious unrest by 50%. So religious unrest isn't that big of a deal anymore in the home country. So I don't know which area has the worst in terms of other religions, but it's way reduced now, so it's not as much of an issue anymore. Anything else to be said? Yes! Before we go ahead and start battle, which is the next thing, someone asked, because the king is now so old, he's 74 years old, who is the successor? Who's going to take over after him? And that is, if we go here to show family tree. So, in the real timeline, Charles didn't have any kids. But in this one, he had quite a few. In this case, he's got 4 of them. So we have the youngest, which is Carl, 25. Then we have Louise Dorothea at age 38. She is married and she has 1 child. He's not married, has no children. Then just 1 year older, Ulrika Eleonora, same as the mother. They're not very creative with their names, are they? She's married and she's got 2 kids. And then the oldest, which is 45, he's married and has 2 kids, and his name is Carl. So we've got Carl, and the claimants are called Carl. Everyone's Carl, for some reason. There's 4 people in line to the throne, and they're all called Carl. But it most likely is going to be this Carl, the age 45. He's going to be Carl the 13th once the king dies. So he's going to take over. Yes, so that's what you needed to know. That everyone's name is Carl. Very good. Right, we're going to bring up our troops. And then we're gonna pass into... I've already set unlimited battle time. The thing though is I figured perhaps that I might not actually need that, because so much of the enemy army is cannons that they might not actually bring that much infantry to the fight. So this secondary army, which is turning up here, which doesn't have a proper general, it has a whopping almost 10 units of fixed cannons that will not take part in the battle. What I can see though, it looks like the reinforcement army is going to number 8,000 men, and the main army is going to number 4,500. Looks like we've got a set of twins here, because they've got the same picture. First it comes with the everyone's called Carl, and now they look the same, and it's got that like little smirk, like I know something that you don't. Well, we certainly know something that they don't, because we've got 10 stars against their 2. So definitely not a great general. I have about 12,000 men. And they have then about 12,000 men as well. So it's quite equal. It's just that in terms of cannons, they clearly outnumber me in the amount of guns. Not that they have... this one is like all 3-pounder guns. So not that impressive. The first army though, that has a lot of guns. And that could be a little bit daunting advancing on that. And yes, there's nothing really more to say. It's going to be the first battle for the Queen's own regiments. But besides that, let's thunder on and claim Norway. And here we are for the battlefield. We've got pretty much the same setup I always use. However, what I've gone ahead and done for the infantry is I've made a closer formation. Usually I end up with one extreme flank on either side not being able to aid and take part in the battle. So I've more of a closed order here, where we've got 2 brigades in front, grenadiers in the middle, and then 2 brigades right behind those, rather than setting these 2 that's set in the back on the sides. And hopefully we'll be able to support each other more closely. We've got the Queen's regiments on the left in the front with the guards on the other side. Then we've got Västgötadal behind the guards, and behind the Queen's regiment we got the mixed of Royal Levy and the Mobile Task Force. Cannons are split on either side of the battlefield, so that we cover as much angle as possible, and hopefully the 2 batteries can pick targets, a little bit different targets. Henrik's Lions, there's 4 units of them, split into 2 groups here on the left, sorry. And on the right, I was already on the right side, talking about the right side before I'd finished about the left. And on the right, we've got Forkum's Germans, 3 units of those. General right here, and with that we'll go ahead and start. The enemy is set up quite far back and very spread out. We'll see how this goes. We're gonna start off by just a general advance towards the enemy. You can never go wrong by setting out to gain ground against the enemy. General gets hit right away. I don't know if they're aiming at him or if they're just aiming for my cannons. Most likely they're aiming for my guns rather than the cavalry. However, it's very unnecessary to lose the general this early on and to lose riders as well. That's why we're going to hold back the cavalry for quite a bit. We're going to advance forward here, and once we're ready to actually have the infantry meet each other somewhere along here, then I'll come back to you guys. Change of plan. The enemy has decided to completely abandon this artillery position and then set themselves up on the high ground up here. I'm currently sending forward the Royal Germans, and they, together with Västgötadal, is going to take on this side. There's still 3 regiments within close proximity of being able to move in and aid. Currently, the infantry is set here, down in kind of a gully right before the artillery. So hopefully they're going to be a little bit shielded from their artillery. But not a lot, it seems. I'm hoping that here comes the cavalry. So we'll be ordering them in shortly here to go ahead and charge down the guns before my infantry gets cut to pieces. So we're gonna lead the cavalry now directly towards the artillery here, and the infantry, unfortunately, is gonna act a little bit like a bullet sponge as they get fired upon. I'm gonna order them to advance here. Here comes the cavalry. It's gonna be important to aim for the carronades, because they're gonna kill a lot. I said, as the other guns are firing the canister into my cavalry and absolutely wrecking them. We're gonna order these guns to hold fire at this point. It's a risk here, a high risk of friendly fire. I have been able to overwhelm all the batteries, which is good. Meanwhile, the army is readying itself here. The problem here is the edge of the hill here is so close to the enemy, and they've got so much cavalry. If I move forward here, there's a risk of me being like not able to fire in a proper way. They've got a musketeer regiment coming to attack my flank here. I'm gonna order the Iron Brigade to turn to be ready to face them, but we're gonna continue to advance here. It could be that I will stretch out because they are now in the corner. It doesn't matter. We're gonna be able to as soon as we advance on them, I mean the battle lines will get shorter, so we won't have the same problem as we had before, where one flank comes out of line, besides the fact that Västgötadal is now very out of line and should hurry towards here. Okay, so then that unit is not going after the elite units. Instead, this one's gonna get absolutely crushed though, as I'm gonna be ordering the cavalry to fall down through the hill here. We're hiding on the back side of the hill before he actually comes around the impossible terrain here. I want to hit him. So 3 units of the Royal Germans, which are eager for blood. They've just killed all that artillery. They've been victorious in that. And now they strike this Danish regiment in the back, splitting it in 2. And it caused about 50 men to die right into the charge. I want them to kind of break out a little bit and not all stick in the same area. And then we'll fight. Just kind of spread out and surround the right side of the regiment. And soon enough, they were defeated. Is that reinforced? That's not reinforcements. I noticed troops moving on the map. Alright, make sure that the regiment doesn't come back. Right, now we have a much more difficult position because we have the same amount of artillery arrayed against us, but this time around I'll order these batteries to not fire at will, because now the only thing they can fire at is this retreating unit, which is all in mixed among my cavalry. They're not going to come back. I'm just going to order them out here. And then we're going to order the guns to fire at will. These guns have been trained at the enemy's cavalry. Specifically the horse grenadiers. But I think we need to... This guy's way too close. He's definitely coming in for an attack. Oh, they've been targeting these two units. Henrik's Lions and the second unit of Henrik's Lions. We're gonna attack. One is gonna attack straight forward in, and the other one's gonna come in around. Horse Grenadiers coming up. We're gonna have to swarm them as well, and then the guns targeted another Horse Grenadier. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this brigade, and we're gonna extend the line, and we're gonna swing up through here. It's gonna be easier to advance through here against the enemy. Right. We were able to crush that Danish cavalry unit, but now we are facing another one. Another one! Or is DJ Khaled a very dated reference? Another one. Oh, they're shooting through here. Let's see if we can't hide a little bit better. And then Västergötadal is kind of staggered at their advance here. Not that great. Now I'm focusing on two sides. The thing that I'm worried about here is the Horse Grenadiers. Because they... Once they fire... If they were able to... We're gonna be able to fire at my cavalry, that would be devastating. Alright, we have one coming in here. Which I don't like. I certainly don't like. Are they gonna set up to fire? Because then maybe square is not that great of an idea. What are they doing? Yeah, they're setting up to... Get out of the way! I'm ordering the 2nd Battalion to charge into a hailstorm of hand grenades. But I'm at the... given the circumstances there, or given the choices that I had, I think I made the right one. And they suffered heavy casualties, but they were successful in crushing that enemy unit. And now 4 units of Henrik's Lions are ready to strike forward. We're gonna reassemble the mixed brigade. Oh, they were able to fire grenades. Luckily though, the cavalry is a bit faster. Right, it's time to attack. The enemy is kind of pulling back here. Oh, they're sending forward their cavalry on this side. It's time to attack the Danes. Apparently a lot of impassable terrain right there. Is that the reinforcement? That's a retreating unit. Right, Henrik's Lions crush that. Go forward, crush that artillery, and then open up for our attack on the... Oh, my cavalry is being drawn in following their provincial cavalry. But that's not really my idea here. We should speed up Västgötadal to get in close here. The enemy has basically bottled themselves in. And they're gonna be crushed. That artillery unit disintegrated right in front of the cavalry. There was nothing left. The thing is, I'm worried that the enemy's reinforcement's gonna turn up any second now. Which they should about do. Oh, they're turning up right behind! That's perfect. I don't have to worry about getting struck by the enemy in the back. They'll be right in there. The question now is, the fighting is going to be so close that... Oh, the enemy general got... Oh, he got hit by a cannonball. And he was the only one in the bodyguard who got hit. What's that? Grenadiers coming in. Grenadiers, cannon, and regular musketeer. I don't know what to fire at. I'm gonna order fire at the ground right there. Right, Fulcum's Germans, swing out to the right and get rid of that provincial cavalry. Meanwhile, my infantry is advancing up through the hills here. That grenadier unit, there's plenty of ground for the cavalry to set up on either side here, and then sweep in at this location. Right, first unit is sort of up, but not close, not really close enough to start shooting. They're gonna have to go even higher up if they want to start shooting. Okay, I'm gonna order them here and then start shooting. Let's strike here as 2nd Battalion of the Mobile Task Force charged in. Västgötadal is firing at guards and stuff in the woods. The Fulcum's Germans are fighting over there. I think we can gain quite a bit of ground here with Västgötadal. The thing is, we need to advance pretty rapidly through this side. So the guard's gonna come up like that. Okay, so let's see. All the cavalry units, if I can select the cavalry units and have them move through to attack the enemy over there, while the infantry moves closer. So I want the Mobile Task Force all the way up through there, and then the 2 Royal Line Infantries are coming up there. We've got the Queen's regiments are opening fire. I'm gonna charge this guard unit with Iron Brigade is gonna lead, followed by the 1st Brigade, and then we need to get rid of this artillery. So I'm gonna order in MacRob, and then Izzy is gonna stand kind of guard above that, firing down upon the enemy, and then the 2 units of Grenadiers gonna come up through here as well. There's no point in you shooting into the back of 2 friendly regiments. And then Västgötadal needs to close even further. Cavalry got stuck here. One of Henrik's lions got sent away. We kind of took on too much here, so I'm going to order the cavalry to withdraw. We're now going to allow the infantry to weaken the enemy's position. You're going to have to push through here. The MacRob is going to have to push through quite hard. Let's see if Västgötadal can get in even further. The cavalry here is kind of getting stuck on the dragoons, and I need these cavalry units to go and clear the way here. Izzy is not doing too good. The two Grenadiers, though, are gonna move up together with Izzy. They're gonna throw grenades and then charge into that. I think we need to gain quite a bit of ground here. Queens, regiments up. Mobile task force turn. Henrik's Lions. Alright, let's see. Have they thrown the grenades? I thought you were gonna throw grenades. Okay, now I think they threw grenades. Okay, they threw grenades all over the place. And then it's charging in on the enemy guards here. That's the infantry that's stuck in the melee fight. Okay, so the Forkum's Germans are withdrawing under all that heavy pressure. And then Västgötadal is getting crushed by enemy carbineers. I'm gonna take these two Västgötadal and turn them a little bit. We're gonna have to get all these guys through. This guard unit of the Danes are holding out to the very last man, it seems. There's an enemy right in front of you. Why don't you just shoot him down? Oh, Cuirassiers have turned up behind us somehow. No entirely sure how that happened. You should be able to shoot straight into that. Let's have the Queens move up. Västgötadal square is holding. These troops are holding on. There's a lot of cavalry slipping through here now. We're gonna have to form a number of squares. And then the two Grenadier units gonna move like that. I'm not entirely sure how you... Oh shit! Try to run through that, perhaps? If that's a possibility. That horse Grenadier unit needs to be dealt with rather rapidly. The Grenadiers gonna have to stick it out in melee. And then we need to gain ground here with the rest of the troops. Two mobile task force like that. We have 2 units of Henrik's Lions left. Right, the enemy units that were forced away. Let's see if we can't get these guys behind line and try and recover that. Let's see if you can't get back there. There's very heavy fighting here. Oh, it's carbineers. Form into square then. And then we're continuing to fight here, which is currently not going all that well. We have 1 unit of Henrik's Lions that is chasing an enemy cavalry unit, which is unnecessary at this point. Macrob, come back behind the line. And I would really need something here to kind of aid this side, so I can clear off this. Horse Grenadier Guards is trying their luck. Reform the square. We've got foot guard units there. And the guard unit is trading fire here. Let's see if we can't get him to actually come down and meet us, rather than the other way around. Drop the square. Pull back. You can form square. And we have, what do we have? First Foot Guards, Iron Brigade, and 1 Västgötadal against the enemy guard, which finally gave way. God damn it, they're bloody horse grenadiers. Keep doing quite the numbers on us. I'm gonna spread out the unit a little bit. Why are you not, like, completely murdering that unit? Okay, don't turn to face him. Hold the line instead. Oh, they put all the squares into each other. Alright, I want you to drop the squares. And then see if you can't go into line. And then the same with these two squares. Is my artillery... Yeah, my artillery is firing into something here. When I pulled back and the guards were pulled off the hill, they were quickly cut to pieces. They probably did quite a number on us when they held that high ground. I would like to gain that high ground, but I wonder if we have the numbers to do that right now. And I certainly don't... Oh, we do have one of Forkum's Royal Germans. We should... This hill should we be able to take. Put these units there. And then reorganize this bit to something like that, with the grenadiers over there, and then the enemy being beaten back over here. First foot guards extended, and then Västgötadal extended there with the Iron Brigade through the woods with that one unit of Forkums out there. And we're starting to get something done. I'm wondering here if these guys are shooting first line in the back, so perhaps better to order them to hold fire. We are getting hit by canister from their guns. They've deployed 3 of their 3-pounder batteries. We've got 2 guns coming through here. But I wonder, because they're pulling everything towards this area. Let's see, the Grenadiers are going to have to be a little bit brave here, as I'm ordering them forward to try and blow up the guns. We are putting down a tremendous amount of fire here, and I'm going to add on to that as the enemy is pulling more troops down there by putting the 2 Royal Levies that way, and then we're going to have cavalry go that way, and then the 2 units of mobile task force moving to set up there. Okay, the enemy is standing in front. We're about to receive volleys. We're not going to be able to reach the guns, but that's just as well, because the guns looks like they've actually been taken care of. And the fact that we've got 2 guns here means that I can advance Västgötadal. Time to order the Grenadiers to pull back, though. The Danes are kind of getting crushed down there. Let's have the mobile task force move all the way up there. If they come down here, and then with everything, we might just be able to crush all of that. Then you can go ahead and deal with that. Both the guard units, actually. And then all Västgötadal setting up here. Alright, so let's see if you can't move down. Get the gun specifically. See if you can't move down there. Oh, you're out of shot now, unfortunately. That's not too good, but I've got... We can replace these two with the two that did so much melee. Oh, you're out of shot as well. That's not good. But the cavalry is forcing the Danes away. And now they're all broken. However, there's tons of enemy cavalry coming on there. So I'm just going to order my cavalry to leave. And we're going to sit at range now and fire. For as much as we can anyways. So it's these 4 units that are able to fire. Since it's basically all cavalry coming that way, we're going to order these to form square. And what I can do is perhaps move the grenadiers here to fire at will. They can take part in the firing. We're a little bit out of line here with the rest of it, so move back. Let's see if there's a gun behind us that is retreating. I have 2 guns that can fire here. I'll tell them to hold fire and then pick target at will. Perhaps that will work out better. And then you 2 can now fire at will. You should be firing at will. You should be firing at will. You are firing at will. You are firing. Good. Looks like they're running. We've run out of reinforcements. Soon enough, I can order my infantry in full to charge the enemy. They had a lot of guards in this battle. I say, when my army is almost entirely made of guards. What are you doing? Right, it's militia and cavalry attacking over there. Looks like they still have infantry coming in. What is this? Horse Fusiliers. Move forward like that. The enemy cavalry is broken over there. Major charge of enemy units. I'm gonna order a general charge in the direction of thine enemy. Crush the enemy. I'm gonna order up the general now. Henrik's Lions, what's left of him, gonna move up here. And I think it's time to see about ending this fight, as we've got the enemy beat, I'd say. You guys can actually pull back slightly and hit the enemy. Okay, we've got a melee fight going on there, focusing on that, as there's more enemy troops coming in there. Oh, this one slipped through. Let's see if we can't push forward to a point where... Ah, nice. He's gone. I mean, it's Västgöta. All the units of Västgötadal can move forward here and start facing the troops that are coming out there. Another unit of Henrik's Lions. All of this needs to be moved up here. Henrik's Lions, we got 3 units of that. Can go after the enemy cavalry, as I'm about to... you will be ordered into square to hold there. My general is coming in, so he can take part in this to hopefully not completely crush all of Henrik's Lions. They're very tired. My guys are winded and active. I want to take the brunt of the fight with Henrik's Lions, but then we'll have just such an overwhelming advantage with the general joining in. Right, you should be able to get up there. Why don't you go back a little bit? You come up there. Let's get the Dahl turning towards the enemy there. Right, all the enemy cavalry units were crushed. It's a militia unit. Force the militia away. I want the grenadiers to run over here. See if we can't use them over here. We got a unit of pikemen. That's out of time. That's out of time. And I'm very confused as to why the Danes have gone ahead. Oh, and time to order my cannons to hold fire. The bastard Danes have deployed pikes. You know what? If I break them now, we might win the battle and we don't have to face the last units here. If we send everything forward at this point. There can't be that many units left. And we'll just order everyone to charge down what is left of the enemy's army. They're trying their best, but there's so few of them left. And at this point, we've fought our way all up through the hill. The battle is over. Grenadier gave way. Everyone's on the run. Norwegian militia is on the run. This unit's on the run as well. It's just that one unit that's turning up that we're gonna fight. But other than that, they're all gone now. So once that one unit is defeated, which they're losing men, they're not even in the battle yet. Let's pull back a little bit and try and reorganize. I'm surprised that as many units, it's really only the cavalry that has pulled back. Otherwise, it looks like I've got the full units of all, besides now one unit of Västgöta Dahl, which gave up, but that's kind of that's because they were left alone fighting a unit that wasn't even in the battle, which I would say is kind of cheating. And yeah, it broke even before fighting begun. Let's see. we've got, let's see, these 3 still have bullets. Grenadiers still have bullets. These 3 units still have bullets. These 2 still have bullets. As long as it's not horse grenadiers, we should be able to absolutely slaughter the enemy here. Right. I've been able to corner them. It's a handful of cavalry, I imagine, that is coming out. So they've already lost. So I'm gonna end the battle right here in a victory. And here's the results of the battle. I deployed 13,000 men against 12,000 defenders. We ended up losing about close to 4,000. 3,870 men died of my force. It looks like 2 units of Forkum's Germans got killed. Other than that, I think every unit seemed to have survived. No, wait, that one Västgötadal at the very end seemed to have been destroyed as well. So if I had pulled back the smaller units first, had I been careful enough to do it that way, that one would have survived. So we have 2 cavalry units dead and 1 infantry unit dead. With still then losing like 60% of the manpower of the army. However, we killed 8,000 enemies of the Danes, and they now only have they still have a remaining force of close to 5,000 men. However, they will scatter to the hills of Norway, and I don't think we'll see all of them. Royal Infantry Levy is actually the one that killed the most, which that would be part of the Mobile Task Force Brigade then, followed by a Queen's Regiment, followed by one of the Royal Life Guard, which is now up to 7 points, and then it's the other one at 8, and then the Queen, and then we've got this one as well. Should be able to tell then, I think, which these are out of the guard units. Well, everyone kind of has the same there. But since we know that the Iron Brigade moved in melee pretty hard, Izzy moved in pretty hard, and I mean, all of them really. Anyways, we don't need to see that anymore. All the Danish troops. Surprisingly, so many actually full Danish units survive. The guard army has to stay back while the secondary army moves forward. Demand surrender, they do not agree. We're going, just in case, because I know outer results can be fickle, and I wouldn't, after that victory, I wouldn't want to lose all of this due to a bloody out-resolve. And there we go. I shouldn't have been worried at all, really. We only lost 800 men while the enemy garrison got completely destroyed. I do note, though, that one cavalry unit lost over 100 men, which makes sense if they sent in cavalry to charge a fort. But otherwise, looks good. 12-pounder gun killed the most, apparently. And with that, Norway is now under my command. Should really reorganize and attack the remaining forces here. However, what I think is probably the best option here is to have the army that just took the capital have the... Oh wait, no! I just noticed that more units out of this army died. God damn it. So one cannon died, one of the demi-cannons died. Västgötadal is still intact, but all the cavalry got wiped out, basically. God damn it. So now it looks like this army is missing... Before it was missing 3, now it looks like it's missing... Well, a lot more, anyways. God damn it. Bloody auto-resolve. So, the auto-resolve relied on the reinforcement army to place its casualties. It's... I can... You know what? I can load the save, I can go back and play it, and we don't have to lose all those experienced troops and cannons and stuff due to a stupid Norwegian siege. Anyways, I think it's time to end the episode. We're just gonna do that one battle. In terms, I am very much inclined to actually end with a peace with Denmark and just force them to live out their days on Iceland with just too many men that will crash their economy and turn them into a republic that they can live out their days with whatever they eat on Iceland, fish, I imagine. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that said, I will be saying, like I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!